Alright, so in today's tutorial, I wanted to teach a little bit about how to get started in Fusion 360 without being too overboard and also providing enough detail to actually let you understand how to work with this software. So, as you can see, we're just in a new, fresh design with nothing going on in it. So, let's just jump right into this. So, in the top left here, you have a Create Sketch button. This is the basis for 99% of what you're going to be doing here. So let's go ahead and just get started. And you're going to see that we're being prompted to choose which axis we want to start designing on. This really does depend on which kind of part you're going to make and how you want to manufacture it and how you want to keep scaling it. Is it a more vertically oriented part or is it sideways oriented part? And it makes it a little bit easier in final assemblies when we actually properly place it. So you can see I just started on our bottom, I believe the x-axis. Well, anyway, it's an axis. So here is our design, or a sketch platform. So we can see we have multiple tools up at the top. We have create, and you can see that we have quite a few different tools here. We have rectangles, lines, circles, arcs, polygons, ellipses. So let's start with the circle here, and let's just place a 2-inch circle in the center of this. We're going to start by making kind of a gas shock because I think it does a pretty good explanation of certain features, and we'll come back and make a few more in a little bit. So let's see, we have a circle on our screen here and it is 2 inches, so let's just press finish sketch, and as you can see we have a circle. So now we can use certain aspects of our create function. You can see we have quite a few different tools in here, but they're all pretty easy and we'll try to go over as many of them as we can. So here you can see as soon as I press the extrude button here, it highlighted our circle. So if it didn't, you just have to highlight it, or if you have more than one circle, you can individually click those and it'll all go together. Now over here you have some different options too. You have one side, but we can just take our arrow key and we can just drag this up and down. You can see up. So let's go with 4 inches here, and let's demonstrate going in 2 directions. So I want 4 inches there. You can see another arrow popped up when you change that, and you can see this one's over here on the right. So we'll just change that to 4 inches as well. So now we have a 8-inch circle with nothing in it. So let's hollow this out just to show you how we can do that. So we're going to use this create sketch, and you can see that we do have a hard time selecting sideways surfaces, and that is, or round surfaces, and that's a little bit of an issue at some times, but there are ways to get around it, and being in the center of your axis really makes it easier. So let's make a circle. So this one's 2 inches, as you can see here. Let's make a 1.5-inch circle, and then just go ahead and finish our sketch. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time, extruding. So you can see, boom, we got this huge 8-inch chamber here, right? So that's actually not what I want to do. So we're actually going to go the opposite way. And you can see what starts happening is it turns red. What that means is that we're cutting into the material. So I click our front to give me a good area just so I know when we're at the bottom. Now this would completely hollow out our circle and make it completely hollow, but I'd rather not do that for this case. It wouldn't be very effective. So let's go at 7.5 and just go ahead and enter. You can see the operation chains cut as well, and we're going to be using a few of these. We're going to be using new body quite a bit in just a second here. So just go ahead and put cut, and now you can see we have this nice hole here. So if you want to take a peek inside of there, but you can't really see, if you go up to inspect, we have a section analysis right here. This one is critical for most uses I have. So you can place it either on the surface here, and you can go up and down so you can get a good cutaway if something's blocking your view, or you can click the axis, which in this case is what we're going to do. So we clicked our axis, and now we have a halfway cutaway. So let's go ahead into this front view, and you can see there's the inside of our circle. And on the left here, you can see if we just click this eyelid right there, boom, the analysis is gone. So let's create this. We're just gonna make a quick hydraulic shock just to show you, because I don't know, I've just been into hydraulic shocks lately. So you can see we're gonna start a new sketch using that same top area, and this time we're gonna be creating the actual kind of shock shaft. So we're gonna make this 1.490, and that gives us just a tiny tolerance to the shock body compared to this. Otherwise it'd be all sorts of good fun. So you can see that we have finished that. Now we're going to just finish our sketch, and we're going to highlight that inner circle part. And this is a 7.5-inch hole, so we're going to want to go, just for fun, we're going to go 8 inches upwards. Now this one's going to be a new body, and it's automatically going to select that because it's not touching anything, but you're going to want to just double check to make sure it says new body. So one of the things about hydraulic shocks, now we could have adjusted this a little bit differently, but I'm just trying to give you a feel of how the software works. So we're going to create another sketch up at the top, make another circle here, and we'll just make this one 1 inch. And what this is going to allow us to do is trim a lot of this off. So 8 inches up, and we'll just go down to about 7.5 just to make it good even. And, you know, I might want to take away, yeah, I'm going to take away just a little bit more than that. We're just going to go through the same process. There are other ways you can go back and edit your sketch, but just for ease of simplicity, we're just going to go with that. So finish your sketch. And by the way, if you ever see this pop up here, it's just me right-clicking. So same thing, extrude, cut away, and we'll go our negative 7.5. Now it's just a negative number if you do happen to enter it yourself. So there's our skinny shaft. And I don't like the way this looks right now, so we're going to change that. We're going to go up to Modify, Physical Appearance, and we're going to find a metal that's suitable. So I'm going to go with, for this one, just the stainless steel polished for both the top and the bottom here. And these are two different parts. If you see that you're putting it on there and it's changing the color of other things that you didn't want it to, it's most likely because those two parts are joined together. So let's go in here, and this is the basis of our hydraulic shock. Now, what I'm going to want to do is make some holes in this thing. So we're going to make a circle, again, just a small one. So we're going to zoom way down in here and line up right about there and make a 0.2-inch hole. And right-click, press OK. And then instead of pressing Finish Sketch this time, we're actually going to make this go around here. So go up to Create and click Circular Pattern, and then click the item you want to make in a circle, and then come over here on the right and click Center Point, and then highlight the center point of wherever you want it to rotate around. So in this case, you can see we're just going to rotate around there, and we're going to increase the quantity on the right over here to, let's see, about 8. How's 8 look? Yeah, we'll go with 6. 6 is probably better for this. And they are a little bit close to the shaft. You might not want to make them so close yourself, but in this demo, it really doesn't matter. So we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Highlight each and every one of these, and then cut them down through. And now you can see that we have these holes, and they just go real nice and through there. So, okay, so next up, I know I say so a lot here. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is actually lower this just a hair, because we're going to want to be able to see now that analysis that we made earlier, that section analysis, we'll just bring that back. And we're going to highlight this Move Copy, or press M on your keyboard. Click this, and you're going to see some arrows are going to pop up. Just drop that down. We'll drop it down about that far, yeah. That should be good. And we'll just press Enter. Okay, so now you can see that we have our hydraulic actually inside of here, but this isn't going to do a very good job at sealing any sort of fluid at all, especially around the sides over here. So let's go ahead and make a more complicated issue here. So we're going to want to select Create a Sketch, and we're going to want to select this vertical plane, which I believe is Z plane. So we're up on the Z plane right now, or whatever plane this is. And we're going to get real up close to here, and we're going to just click our center, and we're going to make a hole here. Now where we're going to make this hole really isn't going to be that specific, but we're essentially going to be building the gasket here, and I already started a little bit off, so we're going to make a hole right here, and we'll make it 0.10. Now you'll see this is going to eat away at both sides of the metal, which isn't going to do its job. So I'm going to highlight this, press Control C and Control V, and we're going to make 2 of these. And they can be about 0.2 apart, sure, that'll work. And you can make 4, you can make 10, you can make as many of these as you want in here. So we're also going to move these. So we're going to press M or click the move. Oh, I don't see it up there, it's somewhere up there. You're going to press M and highlight both of these and just drag them over just a little bit here. So we're going to want to drag them over about, I'd say about that's probably good. If we make them like this, see, you can see how it's going to clip away from the surface, and this is going to be a rubber material if this was in the real world, so it would have some deflection to it. 0.1 might be a little big on the O-ring itself, so we're going to want to kind of adjust this a little bit. Yeah, we'll make some adjustments here. So move it over, and we can click our value in here, and we can make it what we want it to be. So we're actually going to step this down. I'm already making mistakes. Let's step this down to 0.05 and just double the amount of these. So let's move them to start. Move both of these to where they should be, which is right about there. I think that's perfect. Control C again, Control V, and we're going to place just 2 more of these, just for fun. Okay, so now we have a total of 4 O-rings in this area. Now, I know it's kind of hard to conceptualize what's about to happen here, but take a line and place it around the exact middle, and you should be able to lock in somewhere like that. And then right-click, press OK, and then finish our sketch. Now, we're going to go up here to the Revolve tool, and we're going to highlight each and every single one of these, and we need to get rid of this body too, otherwise we'll cut that away too. And we're going to click cut, but we are going to also click axis, and we're going to highlight that line we just made a second ago, and then just press OK. Now you can see if we get rid of our section analysis, we have holes all the way around the outside of this, so it's going to allow you to place an O-ring in there. And we're going to go back to our sketches over here and highlight that last sketch, and we're going to use it for this next part. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to click the revolve, highlight each and every single one of these, and then re-click our axis, and this time we're going to create a new body. Now you can see they have all changed colors. They're a different material now because they're a different body. So press OK, and then we're going to change the physical material of these over to rubber, which is going to be plastic, and we'll go with under here, rubber black, and we're just going to click each and every one of these. If you make a mistake, you go like this, just press Control Z. It fixes everything. Physical material, and we'll just click that, not make another mistake here. Okay, so now you can see we have 4 O-rings that are placed around this, and because we got rid of that body, and that was really important to make sure you got rid of this body, otherwise it would make those cuts in our body, and we don't want that. So if I get rid of one of these, you can see it didn't cut this at all. If you were to leave that body in place, as we did the revolve function, like you left it open, it would have cut out this body as well, which is not what we want. You can see it's clipping a little bit, not very much. In the real world, the rubber would deflect, and that wouldn't be a problem. So this chamber is going to be filled with a fluid in the real world, and we're not going to make it manufacturing ready, so there's no way to actually put this shaft inside this once we're done here. So we're going to do the same thing we just did here with these O-rings, except we're going to build the top of this container. So let's get rid of our section analysis for right now. Click on Create a Sketch, highlight this area, and I'm going to use the section analysis one more time, and we're going to click our area where we just made that sketch and drag this up just a little bit. This just brings it in closer so I don't have to deal with that shaft being up in my screen. So we're going to center on top, line up with our center hole, and we're looking at about 608 right there. So I think that should be good. We'll do 608. 608 looks like it fit the bill pretty good there. Leaves a little bit of tolerance. Tolerance is really critical. You're not going to be perfect in the real world. You need some tolerance. So we're going to also bring it out to the outside, which is our 2-inch mark. And we're going to finish our sketch again. Press extrude, click 1, 2, and we'll bring this up by 0.25. Yes, that looks good. So now you can see we're completely enclosed. And if we click our original section, we're completely enclosed. But this time, we're going to need to put O-rings, but they're going to be on the chamber itself instead of on the shaft. So let's see. Do the same thing. Get rid of this body. You can see when I highlight this body, you can see it highlighted on the left there is body 2, so you know get rid of body 2. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to create a sketch and we're going to highlight this axis. Go up here, press circle, and get somewhere right about there. That looks good. So we'll do the same thing. And we can do different aspects of mirroring. So looks like we still have this line visible from earlier. That's just because the sketch is visible. I'll get rid of that. So we'll make another line just for this. That's going to be the line in which our axis revolves around. So one of the things I'm going to teach you right now is the mirror. The mirror is very important. Now, you just bring a line in from wherever you want it. And you see this mirror function. You can also find it right here. You're going to want to click this object or any object you want mirrored. And if you want to go over here, you can click here and you can see it mirrors over there. But we don't want to do it over that line. We want it over this line. So you can see we now have 2 gaskets that are exactly equally spaced from our center line. And we'll click OK. So instead of doing what we did before, copy and paste, we can use a mirror line. And that can be useful anywhere you want to mirror stuff. Okay, so we're going to just do the same thing we did before. Finish the sketch. Use the revolve function to hollow out this area around this axis. And cut. And now you can see we have some beautiful grooves up in here. So same thing, bring back our sketch, revolve, click, click, axis, new body. And now you can see that our O-rings are in place. Now we have to go through and change which material these are. Okay. So that is that. And now you can see when we're on our section analysis, we now have O-rings there. Now we bring back our body number 2, and there is a hydraulic shaft. The fluid can flow through our ports that we made, and we have all of our O-rings in place. So if I get rid of the section analysis, you can see all of these O-rings. So we're going to want to move this right now. So you're going to want to highlight the shaft, and don't highlight these because they're part of the body, but you're going to need to highlight each one of these. Kind of a pain, but it is what it is. You can, if you don't have anything in the way, you can drag. So we're going to bring back our body 1 and our section analysis. And we're going to go down. Now we can see how much movement we can get out of this thing. So this is how this shock would function. It would just go up and down in here, and it would give it the resistance that the hydraulic fluid here would provide. It's very important in automotive applications, otherwise you'd have very rough rides. But other applications are very useful in this. This is the essence behind a hydraulic shock, or a hydraulic ram. But it doesn't have these fluid holes. These fluid holes only allow it to move between these 2 chambers. In a hydraulic, you wouldn't want that. You would just want an inlet here and an outlet here, or vice versa. So that way that you can fill this chamber and move the ram more controlled. In this case, this isn't controlled at all. It's just used as a dampener. So we're going to teach you some other features here as well. Really quick, this tutorial is already longer than I want it to be. Let's get rid of the sketch, get rid of the section analysis. So we have a few tools up here. We have the fillet, which puts this nice round edge, whatever you want. You can see we're just cutting right into our stuff there. But you can build this nice round edge, make it look real pretty. Get rid of the fillet. And we also have chamfer. It's the same thing. You just click here and chamfer. Same thing, same exact thing, except instead of it being a round edge, it's a flat edge. And I, for whatever reason, prefer chamfers. So we have quite a few different things here. And the last one I want to go over before I end this quick first tutorial is the thread. This thread right here is just, it's essential. It really is. So you're going to click this shaft here, and you can see, boom, we have threads on our shaft. And for aesthetic reasons, I'm going to click modeled over here. If your computer has a hard time and it isn't that good of a computer, you don't want to do that. Now, having threads all the way down there would really ruin our design. So we're just going to uncheck full length, and you're going to see we now have the ability to make this 3.0 or whatever we want. So now we have 3 inches of shaft there, but really we don't want that. We only want the 1 inch there. And you can choose which kind of thread you want, which size. I prefer the metric ones. They're easier for me to remember. M15 by 15 is a 15 millimeter size, easy to remember. And that is pretty much it. So in the next tutorial, I think that we'll be going over a one-way check valve, and we'll get into nuts and bolts a little bit later here. But anyway, thanks for watching.